Welcome to The Voice. I'm Maxine Lang Seals, and we have the other host, Clara Brent, and we have
Dr.
Charles
Monette,
Charles Monet.
pastor,
Little
well-known
Chapel United Methodist
church, yes, and a well-known football player here at the University of Rice, and finished from Wheatley. We got somebody here today that will add to our show, Maxine. And we also have Constable Kenneth Jones. We are so pleased to have you in our midst, Constable. We know that election is coming up, and we understand that you've been with us a long time.
A long time.
And how long has it taken you, through the years, and when did you start? Were you young, man?
I was fairly young. I started in 1983, and I worked for Constable Douglas. I was his captain and over administration and patrol. And when he decided to retire in '99, I ran for the office and was elected, and have been there since the past 12 years.
Well, that's good. That's good. I know one thing. We know you well out here because of your the things that you have helped us with in this community. And could you, by any chance, tell us what you do? Let the audience know what you do.
We have established about 6 major programs within the precinct. One of them is my Senior Citizen Protective Program, which has been very successful. And we work with that through the community centers and with Commissioner Jack Mormon,
yes.
now the new commissioner. And then we have the GREAT program. The GREAT program is gang resistance, and that is, we implement that in the Sheldon schools. It's been a big success. We've been doing it now for about 7 years, and we'd love to get it in all the schools. And we work with young people to keep them off of drugs, keep them out of gangs. And then one of the programs I'm proud of is called Beat the Heat, which is we take young people. I have Deputy Parsons, who has put together a patrol car that he runs on the track. And young people can come out and on the track, and they can race the patrol car. And we teach them safety, no drag racing on the street. We teach them different type of the law that pertains to it. And also it's to keep kids off drugs. And a part of it is the teaching of our anti-drug program, and that's been a real success and widely accepted among the young people.
Tell me this. We'd like to know, how do our children get involved in the North Forest Independent School District area?
Twice a year we bring the car to North Forest, and we used to bring our mounted and kind of a show and tell. And basically, the schools are not so much involved in it as as Beat the Heat in itself. When they have the races in Chambers County, that's where the young people come. And we would love to see more participation in the North Forest area, because we don't see a lot of that. We had Darren Jones at one time that was working up here with the Beat the Heat, but he has since retired, and we're not seeing a lot of participation, but we would love to see more precinct-wide.
First of all, the gang resistance, we do realize that gang is a major thing within communities. Tell me more about how that program works.
The GREAT program.
You've had it going on for quite a few years.
Yes, we've been we implemented it about 7 years ago, and it is a very good program. It is the procedure to the DARE program.
Okay.
But what GREAT is it teaches young people to stay away from drugs, stay out of gangs, and we do it at the elementary school level. And it is done one semester, and at the end of that semester, the young people then graduate from it, and they're given a certificate. And my deputies teach it. They come in, and it's taught as a curricula and on a regularly scheduled 2 days a week.
Have you been able to measure the effectiveness of that program?
According to the Sheldon School Administration, that the kids are coming out a little more disciplined and a little more respectful, and they seem to understand the police officer's role in society, the school's role, and their role. And we have not had a barometer to say that after they graduate from high school that they would, but we're seeing a lot of interest in the young people. They take part in the class, the officers teach it, and it's a very give and take type situation. And we have had numerous kids call about drug activity that have got it.
Oh,
So
that's
we know
great. That's
that there's
great.
awareness. And we'd love to get this in all the schools, but right now it's only in the Sheldon school.
Now,
Okay, Dr.
Constable, in that program, are you actually identifying some of the drugs that are out and been in the school systems and that have been directly affecting the children?
Definitely. We identify the drugs, we identify the effects that it has on the young people, and the consequences of taking it. Give you an example that, marijuana leads, they want to experiment with that,
Okay.
then they start experimenting
Step up.
something stronger, and it leads on to further problems. We work with them in the area of if they know a friend that is using drugs, how do they get that friend out of that situation? How do they get out of a gang if they're approached to be in a gang? How do they, we teach them different techniques in dealing with it, and of course then the last is to report it, which is reported not only to the school but to the law enforcement.
now I heard you say that Sheldon is involved, the school district. Now, how did they get involved? Tell us how we can get involved through the North Forest Independent School District.
The GREAT program, which is the head office is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
It's a fairly expensive program because you have to purchase the books and what have you for the kids.
And that's through
The school pays for
the
that.
school space for that, okay.
And I pay for having the deputy there. I pay his salary to be there, but they have to pay for the number of kids. Say there's 300 kids, then there's 300 books and training material.
Okay.
And then they also have to allot the time, and usually there's a teacher that is assigned to it. And it's not a difficult program to get started. I'd love to have it in North Forest, love to have it in the other schools. Baytown still has the old DARE program, so Galena Park has a DARE program. But right now we're seeing that the GREAT, getting kids off of drugs, out of the gang atmosphere, letting them know that there's a way out if they're
There's
in.
a different way out.
Right,
yeah,
and to avoid getting into it. How do you say no to drugs? How do you say no to a gang? And we teach them that. My
When
officers.
when
work
you're
with-
sure enough used to it, that's for sure.
Exactly.
And you're
So
involved in
Constable-
it every day.
Right.
So, Constable, you're saying that in Sheldon, they have implemented this in their curriculum
Right.
to where they can actually get a grade for this?
They do, and not only do they get a grade for it, but the school sponsors it through the time for the classroom, and then the activities such as lunch, and then the parents are brought in that want to come in. And this is another key to it, is getting the parents involved and the officers teach them. I have 2 officers that teach it. They rotate, and they are so sincere and so dedicated that the kids can see it. Kids can sense if it's
Yes,
not
it's
real.
true.
And
They sure
and I go to every one of their graduations, and it's something to see that these children are sitting there young people that are well-mannered, respectful, and it's because they have bonded with the officers. And this is a key to, as they go up into junior high and what have you, that they know the police officer is their friend.
Right.
That's right.
Yes.
That involvement means a whole lot.
Definitely,
It means a whole
definitely.
lot. It really does. And I heard you mention another, one of the programs that you had where one of the officers out here in this area had retired. Has any other officer volunteered, or you don't have anyone else?
No, I don't have anyone else. That is in the Beat the Heat. And it's an expensive program for the officers because they buy the vehicle. Now, they can get sponsors sometimes, but they're paying out of their pocket for the vehicle.
To ride the track?
Right,
Okay.
right.
And we know that there is so much that we need to talk about, because you have really, really been active in the North Forest community in another way. But right now, let's just take a break for a moment, and we're going to come back. We're going to come back with Constable Douglas, and he's going to give us more information about what he does for the areas that he represents.
Hi, I'm Elma from Urban Houston Network. Do you need your bottom line to look better? Then you need to call UHN and let us help you with your bottom line by advertising with us. Call us today at 832-582-7118. That's 832-582-7118. If your business, program, or product needs more exposure, then Urban Houston Network can help you achieve those goals right now. Church groups and community organizations are welcome to platform your message, so call us today and let UHN be the platform for you. That number again is 832-582-7118. And remember, Urban Houston Network, it's a lifestyle.
Thank you for coming back to stay with us on The Voice. As you know, we have the Honorable Ken Jones, who's the Constable of Precinct 3 with us, and we're talking about the different areas that the Constable serves and the things that he does in the communities. Constable, I know that earlier we were talking, you said that you had several officers that are working for you that attended or live in came from the North Forest community. Is that true?
Yes. In fact, I think we have about 6 or 7 that live in the community.
Wow.
And I have several that have retired and still live in the community. I believe one has passed away, but in the North Forest area, we have signed 2 deputies to cover security and to work for the churches, Corporal Henry Williams and Captain Joe Eaglin.
I know Joe. I've been knowing Joe a long time.
Joe Eaglin has been with the department longer than anyone in the department, including me.
Oh, what you say? I can believe that. He was a young man when I first met him.
And very, very dedicated person. And we provide security the parking lots for the churches when they have their revivals and what have you.
Right.
And we try to coordinate that. And
I've seen even more than that in revivals. I've seen them at funerals.
Right.
They may be just, I guess I'll have to be a witness of some of them, because they were just attending, I think, the funeral when I lost my son. And the next thing I know, they was joining in with the other officers and conducting everything to go, and not only for myself, but I've seen you do that for others.
Right.
And you do have them come into the civic club meetings,
Right.
Discussing the safety, and which gives us an opportunity to let them know what we really need them safety-wise.
That's true.
And it's very important to be part of the community that you serve, because once you understand the needs of the community, you can do something.
Yes,
but
sir.
if you're not part of that community,
Can't do a thing.
you not knowing their needs,
Exactly.
you just can't. And this is why we do spend a lot of our effort and resources in working with senior citizens, community centers, churches, and which are all three the hub of any community.
Yes, it is.
And you know, this is our commitment to the community, and always will be and has been. And I know in talking with just the other day, Corporal Williams, he was telling me that at the civic meetings, he gives a progress report of things happening or safety. And he said he's had more people contact him, tell him how much they appreciate that, him being there and talking to them. And so this is, obviously it's a needed and a well-received project in having the deputies there. And Captain Eaglin, he's been up here 30 years. Well, he's been here longer than 30. I've been here almost 30 years, 29 years, and Joe was up here then.
Yeah.
So he really is involved in the community. And very few people have not heard his name or don't know him, you know, when
That's
you say
true.
Captain Eaglin, because,
Yes.
and very dedicated. And just like Maxine said, you know, wherever it's to help with the funerals, wherever it's to help with the churches, wherever it's to be there for the security for the seniors,
They're
our
there.
civic club, you know, we're gonna be there. That's our job.
Well,
And do you also serve us those papers coming to, go
Coming to the
court
house to-
and
for
all that kind of
checks.
stuff?
For the checks, do you come for the checks too? The man
Right.
written checks and what's that other one? The man writing checks and something else. Y'all come to the house.
Yeah.
Closing of the rent houses and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like this.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are, yeah. Yeah. The, our, you know, our constable's job is threefold. One is, by law, we have to do, anything out of the court, we have to serve. Subpoenas, precepts, whatever. And then the second one is we have to provide a bailiff for the court. And third, since we're in general law enforcement, the Commissioners Court has signed us patrol. So we now have the patrol plus the courts and the civil end of it. And a lot of people, when they hear constables, they think, well, they just serve the civil process, or they're just a bailiff for the court, and they don't understand that we are also in general law enforcement. And then some say, well, it's a duplication of with the sheriff department, but it's not. It's augmenting the sheriff department. During the 2011, the budget crunch that hit Harris County, Harris County let hundreds of people go. And that I was told they cut my budget by $1,200,000, that I was going to have to let between 15 and 17 people go.
Wow.
And I told them I would not do it. They hadn't done anything to be, you know, so what I did was I got them all together and I said, look, I can either let you go, we'll let 17 people, we'll terminate them because the county says they can't afford it, or we can take a furlough and everybody stays, but we'll work 32 hours.
Now that's a good
31
boss.
hours.
Okay.
That's a good boss.
And they did, and so they voted that they'd rather be furloughed.
That's
and
wonderful.
of course now, as of November of last year, I got them back to 40 hours, and I still have my people.
Oh, great.
That's wonderful.
I'm the only
Now, if I
elected.
could give you a hand, I'll do just that.
Thank you.
That's a good
If I
thing.
may brag, I'm the only elected official in Harris County that did that.
Yeah.
And the Commissioner Jack Mormon told me the other day, he says, Ken, he says, you're the only one that did it right, you know, because there's so much suffering and agony over, you know, people losing
And
their
losing their
jobs.
jobs. And
Right.
you gave them a choice.
Right.
Now, your office is, do you have an office over there on Wallacefield?
Yes. I have 3 offices, one on Wallacefield at Jim Fontino Annex. The second office is in Cloverleaf on Hollywood Street. That's where our patrol is. On the Jim Fontino Annex is where my dispatch and warrants is at. Then in Baytown, at the courthouse annex, that's where the administration and civil's at.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh, you just spread it all over the
We're,
place.
we're scattered out,
I'm
and
telling you.
you know,
Just can't go to one building and say,
That's it.
I want to
That-
talk.
well, I schedule my meetings when someone wants to talk. I go to the closest annex to them.
Okay.
And I started about 12 years ago, no, 11 years ago, somewhere around there, if you wanted to meet with me and you're living northeast, then I come out here, because if you get an hour off for lunch, time you drive to Baytown, we don't have no
that's
time
simple.
to talk.
That's true.
So and it's worked out real good, so I usually, at my lunchtime is usually meeting with people, because I just go to them. It's a lot easier that way, and then we have more time to visit. And it's been going about 11 years now doing that, and I really enjoy it.
So, Constable, as you're entrenched in the North Forest area now, what can we look forward to in the North Forest area from the Constable's office?
Basically, you're going to see us at any of your functions. You're going to see patrol in the neighborhoods as much as we can give it. I'm down right now 15 men because of hiring freeze, but like I said, we try to stay really involved with your church, the churches, and the civic centers, and the community centers, the different subdivisions, organizations that they have. We make probably, and I would say roughly 12 functions a month.
Oh, that's
And that's counting the homeowner association meetings. That's counting your church, different functions at the churches, you know, and with the seniors. Captain Eaglin and Corporal Williams, they stay busy. They really stay. And I got to say this about them: it's not because I tell them to do it. It's because they care. They're out there. They have the schedules, they know what needs to be done, and they take care of it. And these are the dedicated men and women that you need.
That's true.
For any organization. And that's what I tried to explain when they said, well, you really need to, you're going to have to get rid of. I said, these dedicated people, these people have worked
For many years.
many years, and you know, so there's got to be another way. So it was tough. There was no two ways about it, but at least now everybody's back to 40 hours, and everybody has a job.
You worked it out with the help of the good Lord. 'Cause
That's
I know
it.
you were led by the,
That is very
what we
true.
call the Holy Spirit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly.
You may have answered this, you may have, because I know that you're involved, you stated the churches, civic groups, you're always out on National Night Out in those areas. And we can't get enough safety, you know. You know, my son is in the police business, being a former police chief, but you still don't feel safe. You hear the shotguns blasting off at night. We have the Houston Police Department, we have the Sheriff Department, we have your precinct, we even have the North Forest Police Departments. So, but in addition to all of those different areas, do you also just patrol this area?
We patrol a good part of it. We don't go into the heart of the city right up at 59. And if we're dispatched, we go there. If they call, we go there.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
If I call and say, I hear a
We
shotgun
cover
going
it
off
all,
somewhere.
right. We'll cover all of the area. And like I said, I have 3 deputies assigned, and actually 2 that are assigned here on a permanent basis as their patrol. Then I have 1 that comes all the way up from west of here, or northeast of here, and which is Shorty. Comes
Oh, yeah, I remember Shorty.
Yeah, I remember Shorty.
Yes.
And Shorty is now, he was working contract, now he's in patrol, and he comes up and covers. You know, Maxine, the safety issue, we're seeing more and more where areas that are secure, but the people say they don't feel secure. We're seeing areas that are not secure, but some people say, well, we feel secure. So crime is everywhere. It's not just to one area. I can say this, though, in Precinct 3, the percentage of crime is lower than in most areas.
Great.
Not that it's being any less crime to a point, but a lot of it is because city, sheriff department, and the constable's office, on any given night, we will make 4 or 5 felony arrests. And the deputies are out there working. It's just, you know, they say crime is down in the county. I don't think it is. Maybe the
disagree with the
reporting of it,
statistics.
maybe they, you know, like you said, you hear it and nothing happened. But we have to be visual and fight it constantly. We cannot let up, and we have to come up with more innovative ways, and with less money and less people, through technology, to fight crime. Again, you gotta go back, educating our young people, stay off drugs. We're gonna have to reform the addict. You cannot take somebody that is hooked on drugs, punish them, and throw them back out there on the street. They're gonna go back because it's a habit. They're addicted. And I don't care what anyone says, when you're addicted, you're not yourself. You have no control.
That's
and
true.
so we must work on that, and I think that we need to do a better job in Texas on that.
That's everywhere, though. We need a better job on doing it. It's all over the big cities,
Right.
all over Chicago,
Right.
New York, Houston, Dallas, you name it. That's the same
same.
identical thing. It's because we let them go too fast.
Right.
Let me say, Constable, you know, you and I go way back. I remember when you were working for Constable Douglas, and I remember when you ran for office and was one of those supporters of working with you. And I know now you're running, and from all the things that you've told us today, I see why you are still there and
keep
been
right
there
on
all
doing
of that
it.
time.
Amen.
And I understand that you do have some opponents that's out there, but thank goodness the election has finally been settled. We have an election date, and that date is May the 29th. I think I put on here you can start early voting May 14th.
Right.
Through the 25th, you can get your mail-in ballot March the 30th
Right.
and get those. So with those little few minutes, tell us why we should vote for Constable Ken Jones.
The reason you should vote is because you're voting for 124 fine men and women that work for me. They're out there working, they're doing their job, and I hope as a leader that I'm doing my job, and our total goal is to be with the community, be part of the community, to work with the community. I return all my phone calls. I get about, on an average day, I'll get between 15 and 25 phone calls.
And that's why we have you in office, and we certainly appreciate you coming
Thank
to
you.
visit with us today. And we'd like for everyone to know that you're running for office and remember you
Thank you.
on election day.
Yes.
Thank you again, and thank you for keeping our community safe.
And don't forget to go and vote.
Right.
Not just for the president. We need to vote for the officers that are here in our own area.